ladies, I have been seeing a ridiculous amount of women on social media, especially when I scroll Instagram and TikTok, come out about the fact that they have just burnt down, for example, their $300,000 a month in profit business, or they have, burnt all their bridges in their career, or they have some type of quitting in their business or career. And a common theme that I see among all these people is that the reason why they did it was because it either didn't feel right anymore or it didn't feel like it aligned with who they were, something along those lines. And if you're an entrepreneurial woman and you have your own business, you have your own thing going on, chances are that you have felt like this at some point in your business. And if you haven't, chances are also very high that you might feel like that at some point in the future in your business. So the reason why I'm doing this video really is firstly to shed more light on this phenomenon, if you would call it, because it is more common than you think it is. I literally have seen creators / business owners that I have looked up to and followed for years on Instagram literally make a post and say, yeah, I just shut down my business and it used to make me $300,000 in profit every single month. First of all, it's very shocking to me at first because it's like, you, out of everyone, I used to follow you, I used to admire you, I used to, look up to you, and now you're telling me you burnt it all down? And then when I think about it on a deeper level, I'm like, wow, this is actually a thing. And I kid you not, in the past week, I've seen maybe 3 women, like amazing, phenomenal, talented women, come out with similar posts. So I want to shed light on the fact that this is a thing and it's more common than you think. And 2, I would also like to give some guidance on when it actually makes sense to quit or burn it all down or pivot in your business / freelance career. Because I myself, I was actually at a very, very similar place a while back, not so long ago. And I found myself working with my clients. I was a copywriter / marketing strategist, and I was working with my clients on a retainer basis. And it got to a point where I literally, it's not like I had to force myself to do the work. It almost felt like I had to put up to my head and do the work, okay? And it wasn't because I hated what I did as a whole, it was just the capacity through which I was working and the way I was delivering my services just did not feel meaningful or fulfilling at all for 5 cents. So I pivoted my business. And for a while there, when I was like in the place of in between pivoting, I kind of let go of everyone. I literally got on a call with each of my clients. I was like, hey guys, listen, I love you guys. I love working with you guys because it is you guys. But at this point in time, I'm just not at a place where I can deliver the quality of work and output that I think you guys deserve. And yeah, I don't want to be the one to sabotage your business. So I'm just gonna go away for a while and do whatever it is I need to do. And figure my own shit out, and then maybe we'll, get back to working together in the future. That's literally what I did, and it made no logical sense at the time to let go of all these amazing, great clients who paid me so much money. But I was like, listen, I don't see any other way. So I've had my own little story regarding this, and I think I've kind of figured out when it truly does make sense to either quit or pivot in your business. So the first way, I think, is a clear indicator of the fact that your business, whatever it is either not for you, or you should quit for a while, or maybe quit altogether, is when your business starts affecting your health, okay? When you find yourself having cortisol that is through the roof, and it's chronically through the roof if you go and do blood tests, or if you find yourself having massive breakouts, especially breakouts on your face. I remember I had that at some point. If you're having chronic insomnia or any type of other health issue that you previously did not have, but you all of a sudden have, and your doctor confirms it to you, that is a very clear indicator that there's something that needs to change. And I don't know if that means that you have to pivot and change the way you conduct your business or offer your services, or you have to change the entire business model you're dealing with, or that you maybe just need to take a break for a while. But when I say break, I mean a proper break where you literally tell your team, do not contact me, I will not be available. That kind of break. I actually was talking to a friend yesterday. She has a marketing agency of her own, and she told me that she had gone to the doctor and she did a blood test work, and her doctor literally straight up looked in her face and said, I don't know how to tell you this gently, but your system is out of whack. Almost everything in your body is out of balance, and this needs to stop, this needs to change. And a few things she was dealing with was she had been sleeping at 2-3 a.m. for like the past 2 years because she works US time zone and she lives here in Dubai where I live. So that had affected her health a lot. She had a lot of breakouts on her face, a lot of acne, and I think it was a few other things, I don't remember exactly, but she basically told me about how her body for a whole week straight had been reacting very, very negatively to almost everything. Like she was having like severe reactions. And she was in a lot of pain and fatigue and stuff like that, and her doctor confirmed that, hey, listen, like, I cannot tell you to like let go of your business, but your business is the biggest reason why you're going through all this stuff. So health is a very, very clear indicator that something needs to change. The second indicator, I believe, is a good enough indicator of the fact that something needs to change in your business or the way you conduct your business, is when you get to a point and you realize that you would rather be broke and eat tuna 3 times a day than be in this business and work with these people and deliver these services. That is a very dangerous place to be, but if you do get to a place like that, it probably means that your business is just not for you and it just doesn't mean enough to you. And I think as women, we need meaning in our lives, especially when it comes to what we do for a living. And if you would rather be broke, like I'm telling you, broke, and have none of the luxuries that you have now because of your business, then you should probably move on or do something else. It might sound shallow at first, but trust me, sis, literally sit down for a moment and ask yourself, would I rather be broke and not have access to all these luxuries and advantages that I have now because of my business, if it meant that I don't have to deal with this business of mine anymore? The answer might be unexpected and it might shock you. Now, the third reason I think is a good enough reason to either quit or change your business is when the ultimate end goal, that was the reason why you started out the business in the first place, it's either no longer aligned with your values today, or, as I kind of said before, it's no longer meaningful enough to you. So we all know that in business, not everything is going to be all fun and games. Even if you're very passionate about what you do, some parts of it are going to be very annoying, very boring, and you'd rather not do them, right? So let's establish that first. That is normal. That is part of any business. Ask anyone you want. But on the other hand, if you realize that the ultimate goal that you have with your business, could be whatever, is no longer important to you, like it doesn't make you feel like, oh, all this headache that I have to deal with, all these uncomfortable tasks that I have to do are worth it. If you no longer feel like they are worth it at all for the sake of this bigger picture end goal that you have, then why do you even wake up in the morning and work on this business? What is the point, right? So for example, let's say someone has a business and the end goal, ultimate big picture goal, is for them to help men and women have successful marriages because she wants human beings to get back into bonding and procreate and have families, etc. Like that's like the big picture goal of her business, okay? And let's say that she's gotten to a point in her life where she no longer cares about that. Like she couldn't give 2 shits about men and women having better relationships or having better marriages or procreating or whatever. It's going to be very hard and pretty unsustainable long term for this person to perform well, to do what they need to do in their business and keep it afloat and scale it, etc. I think it's going to be really hard. And even if you manage to do it, you won't see the point in the end. There is no point. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we all know that our values to a certain extent kind of shift as we go through different phases of our lives. The things I used to care about 10 years ago, it's not the same things I care about today. And that is okay. And that can affect the line of work you're in. And that is completely fine. That doesn't mean that you're fake or that you're a fraud or that you are someone who's a quitter. It just means that your values have changed and the things you care about or see meaning in today are different. So I think those 3 indicators are very clear indicators and I think are valid enough for you to consider if you find yourself in a place where you no longer feel motivated to show up in your business the way you used to, or if something just feels off and you feel like there is more you could do, or there is, I don't know, untapped potential within you that you want to go and explore. As cliche as that sounds, it is normal. And it is more common than you think. And these are 3 very valid reasons as to why you would want to do that. And I think you should. So I hope this video helped even a little bit. If it did, please just leave a comment or press on the like button or just do something that signals to me that someone's watching this and it was useful. And I think as a final note for this video, I would just like to tell you that you're not behind. Time is not running out. You can wake up and reinvent yourself tomorrow if you wanted to. And it's not that deep. Let's just put it that way. I'm personally someone who always feels like she's behind, she's running out of time, and it's too late. But I would like to remind both myself and you that that is not true, and there is no shame in quitting and starting over if it's for the right reasons. And as always, ladies, stay hot, be smart, and I'll see you in the next one.